All right, what is up, internet? It is August 14th, and here's my daily cryptocurrency journal. So, still focusing on the same coins: Bitcoin, Solana, XRP, and composition. My Bitcoin bias for today is bullish. I want to see 29.29 hold. If that occurs, I think we make a run to at minimum 29.73. So, for Bitcoin, we've been in this downtrend, right? We've been kind of tagging the anchored VWAP here, and this low today was ran, and we got a tag of the POC right here, this is kind of the area I was looking for along, like for a bounce of some sort if we are going to continue higher. So we just got that. So now I'm just looking for 29.29, which is basically the midpoint of this low and this high to hold, right? I want to see us hold here, and then if that does hold, then I want to see us come up to take out at least minimum of this high right here. And I guess it all depends on what spot and what futures is doing. Right now it looks like spot is selling, futures is selling, but the basis is picking up. So I do think we're actually going to hold the midpoint here if the TWAP starts happening. But if spot does not pick up, if the spot bid does not come, then I think it's much more likely that when we do take out this high, right, it'll just be a retracement, right? Maybe we'll just maybe at highest we go up to about here, but if the spot bid does not pick up around this area, then I think we'll see something where Bitcoin price will come up, as a retracement, and then probably make its way back down, right? Potentially taking out these lows and going down to this area of 28.2 to 28K. So just zooming out a little bit, you can see that's around basically the tops of these highs right here. So that's kind of what I'm expecting for Bitcoin. So all eyes on whether or not this will hold. So my bear scenario is if this does not hold, then it's much more likely that we're going to come down to the bottom of the range here, and I'd be expecting chop a little bit, right? Worst case scenario is we come back down to the low, we kind of chop around sideways, maybe have like a scam pump before we dump. But yeah, right now I'm really looking for this to hold, right? Because I think there are a lot of trap traders in here, and it would make sense to come back down here, right? If there's a lot of trap traders down here, then it'd make more sense to come squeeze them out, right, with a move up. It does look like there was a significant liquidation here too, so I think you have all the ingredients here for a potential squeeze to the upside. Not like a violent squeeze, not like a super big squeeze, but a squeeze of some sort. Another thing too is our OI has been reset. So all the open interest that has accumulated in this area has been reset here. So we're at a good midpoint. This just seems like a good spot to bounce right here. So I really want to see the spot bid pick up. It looks like, Binance has been buying a little bit, but Coinbase, Kraken's kind of flat. OKX has been selling. We'll see how the day goes. But yeah, that's kind of my bias for Bitcoin at the moment. Okay, what is the Wyckoff structure? If this recent low was indeed the low, it may have been the retest that was needed after we put in a potential sign of strength at 30.1K. Okay, so what I mean by that is I think this is a Wyckoff structure of some sort where, okay, this was your selling climax, right? You had your spring right here. You had a spring test. You had basically a spring test right here. I guess you could also argue that this was a spring test as well, but I believe this was potentially the sign of strength, right? So if this indeed was the sign of strength, then I think this should have been the retest that was needed, right? Because we came back down here, we retested now. So if this was a sign of strength, then we really should see Bitcoin pick up here to potentially take out this high, right? That is what I'm expecting. But again, if the spot bid does not pick up and we're just seeing the futures swap, then it's much more likely that, we come back up here just to kind of mitigate some of the positions that are in here, right, before we continue down lower, right? And this was actually a UTAD, a thrust to end distribution, right? So if that's the case, then this might be the start of a local uptrend to give us a last point of supply, right, before we continue down. So at minimum, that's why I'm looking for at minimum this high to be taken, right? And at highest, we would probably come up to this area somewhere to mitigate some of the positions there before continuing down. Okay, so what coin looks the strongest? Why? So XRP looks the strongest since there appears to be a substantial spot bid. This coin is weird though in that it'll just chop around until futures starts bidding. So to get involved in an XRP long, I'd like to see the futures premium pickup, signaling liquidity coming into the futures market. So if we take a look at XRP, you can see, look at that, spot has been buying aggressively here, and look at price has just kind of been chopping around waiting for futures to do something. See, futures has been flat, and the only time you actually get these pumps in spite of spot biting is when futures really steps in and provides some liquidity, right? So that's kind of what I'm waiting for. It does look like the XRP premium is picking up, so I think futures might be buying a little bit here. I don't know. I think at highest, like, I want to see a move up to here, something for XRP. If we do have a move of some sort, I'd like to see XRP come up here. Okay, what coin looks the weakest? Solana and composition look very weak to me. So if we look at Solana here, you can see spot selling, future selling. It's kind of going down only. If you look at the larger structure at play too, this looks like this was potentially a upthrust that is going to be the start of a downtrend here to potentially take out these lows. It does look like this low was already taken. Let's see, barely. It was barely taken, but if you just think of this from a Wyckoff perspective, I think like this was like your selling climax, or sorry, this was your buying climax, right? You had your automatic reaction right here, kind of chopped around. This could have been the upthrust, right, which will start the downtrend, and now I'm expecting these lows to get taken, you know, for a move down to here before another accumulation phase happens here before we continue up higher. That's kind of what I'm thinking for Solana. If we zoom in a little bit here, I don't think this midpoint is going to hold. I think it's more likely that we come down here to revisit these lows, and we kind of, I'm thinking something like a bounce right here. If we come up here, then this is kind of where I would be looking to go short, right? Now, if we do come up here, and if I did take a long on Solana, which I don't think I'm going to because my bias is bearish for Solana, then I'd probably take a short around this area here. Okay, if looking at composition has been in a downtrend for quite a long time. You know, you can see in the Wyckoff structure right here, this was your UTAD, right, which started the downtrend, and we've been in this downtrend for quite a while. I think this downtrend will continue until we make it to around here. This is kind of where I'm looking for my ideal long entry to potentially reverse, right? It's interesting to study composition from a Wyckoff perspective, because you can see like these little upthrusts that are put, right? And then you have one final big UTAD or UT that comes in, which starts like a downtrend of some sort. But even this UT did not take out this low, right? Which is very surprising to me. It wasn't until this happened right here that these lows were actually ran. And that's what happened right here. So, we had this happen. Not sure what's happening right here. If we zoom in a little bit, I do have an alert set here, because if composition does come up here to like mitigate and take some of these highs, I would be looking to get into a short here to potentially run these lows right here. Again, none of this is financial advice, full disclosure, because I am not a financial advisor. This is just my personal cryptocurrency journal. Yeah, that's my plan for today. I will see you guys at the end of the trading day. Later. All right, it is the end of the trading day for me, and here's a recap of everything that happened. So for Bitcoin, we did get a little bit of a pullback here, and we had a nice run up right here. We did not make it to the top here, right? So we didn't hit my target for today, but I do think as long as Bitcoin chops around here and doesn't take out this low, I think tomorrow it's very likely that, or over the course of the next couple of days, I think it's likely that Bitcoin will eventually work its way up to take out this high and probably make its way up here. But we'll see about that, okay? We'll see how the charts look tomorrow. Another thing that was interesting about this run up is that it was led by spot. As you can see here, spot is bidding, futures bidding, but the premium is trending down. So that tells me that it was actually spot that was leading the move up. But what's also interesting is that it appears that futures was the one that initiated the move up. Like, it initiated the move. As you can see right here, the premium is trending up right here, right? And there's a distinct change once we get to this area when spot starts to lead. So move was initiated by futures, but it was led by spot. And then once we got to the top here, you can see we had a big 2.2 million liquidation right here. Price starts to make its way back up, take out this high, and then right here you can see spot starts leading the sell down, right? And you have this huge sell off, which takes out this low right here. Okay, you take out this low and you make a new low right here. And I did not foresee that sell off, right? Because once we got up in here, I was fully expecting us to come take this high. So one thing that could have indicated to me that we were going to have a sell off in hindsight is this increase in open interest, right? As this move up came up, you could see there was a huge amount of open interest that increased. So that should have told me that, hey, it looks like there's people that are potentially longing this, right? And if it is people that are longing this move up, then we might get them flushed out, right? And that's exactly what happened. All that OI increase got flushed, and now we're kind of going flat here as the market kind of just chops around. That's something to just keep in mind, just to be cognizant of the increases in open interest and how that might have my daily biases. Okay, just looking at some of my notes. How did today go? Today was not the best. It could have been a lot better. I was a little frustrated with XRP's price action, since all the initial signs indicated it would have a decent run up. Yet it was falling relative to BTC. It made me frustrated that I was largely correct about my BTC bias, and XRP wasn't really moving in accordance with BTC. It made me frustrated that Sol was outperforming XRP and BTC, and I had to I had chosen to long XRP over Sol. So basically, when this move up happened, right, I was expecting XRP to also like break out along with Bitcoin, and that's not what happened. XRP kind of just chopped around right here, right? Like it just made a kind of lackluster move. I actually got my long in right here, so it was in profit, right? And I'm just waiting for XRP to do something. It doesn't do anything, and then it comes and it stops me out at a loss right here. Also looking at the BTC pair, at the start of the day, it was actually trending up, right? We had the BTC pair that was trending up. So I thought this was going to continue up higher, right? But actually, once we had that breakout here, the BTC pair starts trending down, right? And you also get like a retest of this order block right here, which coincided with the top right here. So basically what I'm trying to say is for most of the day, right, while I was trading, XRP was trending down relative to Bitcoin, which made me pretty frustrated because it's like, hey, I started the day off, like I was able to call Bitcoin's move right, but I'm not being rewarded for that, right? In fact, I'm being punished because XRP is trending down, right? And it wasn't until Bitcoin had this sell-off right here that XRP actually started to run up, right? So after it had this retest of this order block right here, that's when XRP actually did its run up. But that had come after I got stopped out of my long right here. Another blunder I had is I kept trying to re-enter in my XRP long, and I wasn't patient, right? So I tried the long right here and I got stopped out. I tried to long right here and I got FOMO when this move down came up. So I closed out of it. And then finally I got in an entry around here, and I'm currently in that trade, still in profit right now. But another thing is I didn't take profits when we actually had this move up right here, right? Like I should have set my take profit level up here, which was one of my focus goals for last week. So it's just, there's still a lot of things that I have to work on. There's still like a lot of psychology that I need to improve upon. At the end of the day, I need to take what the market gives. I can't be frustrated that the market is not like going in my direction because the market owes nothing to me. And I can't be upset with myself too much for like not calling it correctly, right? Because how was I supposed to know that XRP was just going to go down relative to Bitcoin, right? It's like I can't, right? So I can't be too frustrated, but I got to just work on the things that I can improve, the things that I can control, because I can't control a market, right? And I got to remember that. One thing that is interesting though is how the Bitcoin pair did respect this order block, and then once you did get this reaccumulation here on the Bitcoin pair, you actually did have a move up. So that's something to keep note of. Looking at the CVDs for XRP, yeah, I'm really confused with XRP in general, because look at the spot bid. The spot bid is like increasing so much here, but futures is just really holding this coin down, and it really seems to me like this coin doesn't move until futures actually starts bidding, right? Which is really, really strange to me, or at least when futures halts the selling pressure. I don't know, it makes me think that Solana might just be a better coin in general to trade, because if I'm calling the Bitcoin moves correctly, I want to be able to get rewarded for that, and it looks like Solana has been moving more in accordance with Bitcoin. Not only that, but the Bitcoin pair for Solana has been trending up relative to Bitcoin. If I do call Bitcoin's price action correctly, it looks like I'd be rewarded a lot more with Solana. And even this, like, look at the strength of this move here for Solana, which is like, that's a 0.7% move, which I know doesn't seem like that much, but if you're day trading like me, that is a lot. See where it's like XRP is kind of just downtrending right now. Bitcoin is kind of going sideways. What is composition doing? Composition actually had a lot of strength today, almost a 5% move. So my altcoin bias for today was not that accurate. My BTC bias for the most part was correct. Altcoin bias was not very accurate. But that's okay, because I'm not going to get it right every single day. But I can work on managing my trades better and like taking smaller take profit levels and just working on my psychology. Okay, so yep, I was just getting FOMO. My XRP long was in profit for a good amount of time, but I ended up getting stopped out when BTC pulled back. Okay, instead of being patient, waiting for a re-entry, I kept re-entering right away on 3 separate occasions, which of course kept stopping me out. This resulted in multiple losses that could have been avoided if I was more patient and just waited to take the entry. Okay, so what did go well today? My BTC bias was largely correct. Although it did not hit the exact target I was looking for, it did have a decent run up, right? And like I said, as long as Bitcoin does not take out this low, right? As long as we chop around here, I think it's very likely we come up and take out this high, right? So that's kind of my bias for right now. Okay, what can be improved? Being patient with my re-entries is something I really got to work on. And again, smaller take profit levels. I need to start getting smaller take profit levels. I already kind of talked about this, which coin was the strongest. So Solana ended up being the strongest, but Comp surprisingly had a good run too. I think it goes to show it's best to check the CVDs throughout the day for all the alts to determine whether or not my initial bias is still in effect. The market is dynamic and constantly changing. Be sure to always be cognizant of that, right? So yeah, composition was one of the coins that looked pretty weak to me at the beginning of the day because you had spot was kind of flat and futures was selling off. But look here, you can see futures really started picking up right here, and then the spot bid is really what sent it up even higher. It's just that, like I said in my notes, it's important to look at the CVDs because the market is always changing and you never know what you might be missing, right? Because these could have been opportunities to get involved in some of these trades, right? Especially like right here, right? That would have been a perfect entry on the mitigation of that order block right there for a nice move up to those highs, supposedly, right? Just some notes to keep for myself. Okay, which coin was the weakest? So XRP was the weakest despite its strong spot bid. This kind of confuses me, and I don't understand why the price of XRP will barely move even when there's a strong spot bid. XRP only seems to move once futures starts bidding or lets off the selling pressure. Yeah, so XRP also lagged behind Bitcoin. It wasn't until Bitcoin dumped that XRP actually had its run up. And once again, I believe that was because we got a mitigation of this order block here. The BTC pair started accumulating, and then you actually had that run up, right? Did you follow your focus girls from yesterday? No. My take profit levels were still too far. I get FOMO and I think I'm going to miss out on a big run up. I must learn to take what the market gives me. Okay, keyword, take what the market gives me. It's better to be consistent with smaller take profit levels and miss out on big run up than to be inconsistent with intermittent large wins. Focus goals for tomorrow. Okay, being patient with re-entries, because I'm getting better when it comes to being patient with my entries, but my re-entries, I gotta stop FOMOing. Just gotta be patient and let the market tell me where it wants to go. Smaller take profit levels, okay? And then I also wrote some notes here in my journal. So my trigger for overtrading is a frustration when my idea doesn't work out. I keep entering trades in anticipation that, okay, this is the bottom. No, okay, this is the bottom. I want to be right. My ego wants to be correct. And as a result, I get repeatedly stopped out. Okay. When I get stopped out, that's a time to pause and reconsider what's going on. No amount of forced entries is going to will the market in favor of my direction. Okay. The fact that you get stopped out means that your idea was incorrect and a new bias is needed to fit the current market condition. Pause, reassess, and be patient before jumping into a new trade. So just some notes for myself. Yeah. If you're still watching, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow.